of Gen.G. They're forcing Monzter to have to play Thor? Okay, that's not really... Yep, it's likely going to be some sort of Namor, Hulk team up if I were to get...
The gates to open up here in Hell's Heaven for the first map here in the lower bracket of this best of 5.
Yeah, what I'm scared is the hoodies. You know, they actually... Crazy Raccoons actually let through the Adam Warlock, which means you get basically the rotating elevator of the heroes coming back to life with the Karmic Revival that we've seen so deadly in domination matches. So we will have to see how they position themselves or how Crazy Raccoons want to be able to deal with it, especially because right off the bat, Monzter is cutting off the rotations of Jmac, forcing them to not get so much backline. Look, it's just hot on their heels, trying to protect this backline that is Felix.
Yeah, normally as a Hulk player, you usually try to go right in, try to disrupt the backline as much as possible, but here he is able to back up his fellow teammate, but then again, Felix false, going down early, NX will capitalize. And keep in mind, look at the side of Crazy Raccoon. They have access to their favorite composition here in stage 2. It's the Ultron and the Torch, and you can clearly see why they really love rocking this comp.
Yeah, 3 eliminations in quick succession. While you were talking about that, it was the Ultron and Phoenix just taken to the skies. And hey, this might be a time for that Namor to come out. You know, they've obviously done a bit of a debate onto the casters with that hover on the Wolverine, but it is the long-range pokes that Crazy Raccoons are so good at, even basically holding off around these pillars. So a 37% in climbing.
Yep, already a third of the way there here in map number 1 of round number 1. As Lastro is just 1v1ing the likes of Brownie, who's trying to get some sort of backline access, but look at Jmac also looking for some sort of disruption, but he is spotted out by a hoodie here.
Yes, thanks on to the rage of Ultron, finding some sort of work. Now, target onto Felix! No fate of both worlds in the midst of the tornado. It's absolute chaos. And JT3 holding down firm is the Ultron's high in the sky. Who is the clone? It's Snake. Vital remains on top of it. And Monzter throws your life out as to not stagger the rest of Gen.G.
Great play coming in from Crazy Raccoon, especially on JT3, denying the fate of both worlds from Felix. As soon as Felix started that dance floor, it was shut down immediately by security, that is of JT3, who also picked up a triple there. And that might be the difference here as Crazy Raccoon looking to close in here on this first point.
Okay, now we've got a lot of check marks for Gen.G. Let's see if they cash those in. As, like you called it, the Incredible Hulk disrupting that backline, forcing on the fate of both worlds from Crazy Raccoons. And finding the hoodie is a big deal, right? But the cocoon comes out, and in the midst of it all, without the strategist, it's going to be the legendary Brownie finding Lastro as well.
Oh my gosh, Brownie does get a double with the Galactic Legend, but the key moment here being Hoodie. His Karmic Revival was actually denied by NX, who did land the shots in time, but it might not matter in the end, as Gen.G will still be able to find a way to take over the site. Yeah, with the Rage of Ultron coming in from Snake, it will all but seal it, and Gen.G now on the board.
Just at the last possible second, right? Denying that 100% for Crazy Raccoons with Brownie's amazing theatrics. But once again, I've said it time and time again, you can't necessarily pull a 6-stack just on a single player. It takes more than a hero. You need the Avengers to assemble themselves. So NX still on a bit of a hunt right now. They're holding on to their composition no less, and Jmac's looking for an opportunity on the backline to disrupt.
Ooh, great pick from Brownie onto Jmac here as False closes in onto the site, trying to zone away Crazy Raccoon, who do have a strategist ultimate up and ready to go very, very soon, as Felix does have that fate of both worlds coming in. NX close to that supernova, JT3 with the meteor, Lastro as well with the Soul Resurgence. If Gen.G pull the trigger right now, the timing is absolutely perfect, but Crazy Raccoon finally now will have a response as NX takes out Monzter and pops that supernova.
The dive in, hunting Felix. Okay, it pops the fate of both worlds as a contingency, and without the, Meteor M to work or threaten that, NX is just able to find Brownie in the midst of it all. Now, Felix on the back line. Seconds! But okay, NX double taking, and we'll find the life of Felix.
Finally finishes the meal. That is the frag onto Felix. Brownie does find one through the portal as Lastro clicking away. We'll find that trade. But for now, if Gen.G are able to hold, they may be able to make this a competitive round number 1. But look at the feed right now. Jmac finding a pick onto Felix as well. Jeff going to be popped on the side of Hoodie. So many ultimates being used, but can JT3 find the shark? No, you won't be able to. Hoodie finding the frag onto SeungHoon, and now Hoodie being on that Jeff, trying just to be that slippery shark throughout this entire fight. Jmac will just buy as much time as possible, but look at the feed. It's going red, it's going blue, it's going left and right and center, but JT3 trying to tip the scales right here.
JT3 doing everything they possibly can to channel it, but NX, oh no, that was false. That NX took out. Crazy Raccoons, because hey, bit by bit, Felix could not get the teleport back in, and Crazy Raccoons seal the deal.
That was a little bit of an awkward interaction there. I think it was Jmac on the Magneto.
The likes of Hoodie, when you're down on the ground as Jeff, kind of negating that it's Jeff. Oh, yes, you were able to get SeungHoon with 1, but you need a bit more efficacy with that. And it was just effectively that healing pawn that came out after the it's Jeff out. So I'm not sure if that's still one that you want to keep holding on to moving into point number 2.
Point number 2 coming online in 12 seconds time. Brownie on that Star-Lord, getting dangerously low here as Crazy Raccoon looking to come in. Jmac needs to be a little bit careful. He is on a lifeline right now as Monzter looks to pop in. Supernova will be popped by NX, and Monzter trying to shut it down as soon as it starts.
I mean, immediately just dashing past Monzter shields to get into the face of False. Holy Crazy Raccoons take this by absolute storm. Feet lights up red, and it lets at least what looks like, I think, False or Brownie live to tell the tale. But now the staggering onto Snake is absolutely diabolical. They're smart to let them just take their, leap off the edge, basically. Precious seconds.
And it takes so much more time to go down, especially when you're a flying character on the likes of Ultron. I don't think you ever see a Ultron willingly floating down into the pits very often, but Crazy Raccoon with the heads-up play, trying to disrupt Gen.G as much as possible, especially with that stagger. And now they look to take control already at 40%.
Yeah, we're gonna start with the extermination! But nay, you're exterminated, says the likes of Vital. NX lights to the skies as well. And holy, just as quick as it started, it is absolutely dismantled. Damage boost from Lastro will find Brownie. And they're not done with it at all. Monzter, I think in the midst of it, popped the Eye of Agamotto, but found 0 value. Not every day you see Monzter on the Doctor either.
Yeah, we've seen him be absolutely clutch on the Doctor Strange before, if you recall, all the way back on Central Park in matches past in playoffs. That 3-man stun being the difference here, but Gen.G were not able to find a capitalizing move as Crazy Raccoon already at 80%. It's going to be 20 more seconds unless Gen.G find a way back in. Look at the ultimates available on both sides. They're going to use it at any given moment, and that moment is right now.
Right now, indeed. I mean, we've got the Galactic Legends up high, being countered by the Soul Resurgence. Dance floor active as well from Felix, just to provide Gen.G a little bit more support. Jmac in the background will find Hoodie. 0 Shark Week available. JT3 has the Meteor M. Great freeze onto Jmac, which means that Felix is going to be able to live to tell another tale, but not Lastro, says False. A tick-for-tack trade as Felix will fall to the wayside as well.
Yep. Looks like the trades are going in favor of Crazy Raccoon. Overtime meter coming into fruition. Monzter alrighty getting forced down into the puny banner, and he's gonna get taken down. Brownie, you can dance all you want, but you're not gonna be able to survive, as here comes the Jeff, all but sealing the inevitable here, as Crazy Raccoon with a 2-0 here in map 1 will take it swiftly.
Swiftly indeed. Normally we see Gen.G feel really good in domination matches, right? They're able to rotate their way through and find the right map space accordingly in this claustrophobic kind of domination spaces. But it was Crazy Raccoons that knew how to counter every time, especially that second point. It was even more dominating, right, against the side of Gen.G.
Yeah.
Every time Gen.G peeked their head round the corner, it was just clicks on the head. And probably one of the best Emmas we've seen here in Asia. But I wouldn't be surprised if JT3 pick a chance to hop onto that. We've seen a bit of Emma,
this time in the lanes of Arakko.
Yeah, the triple opted for Gen.G, but more interestingly is also the resurrection option that they chose, right? They've got the BRB from Snake as well as the Karmic Revival from Hoodie, which just lends to a lot more momentum and a lot more that Crazy Raccoons will have to deal with to try and break that. They have respawn advantage, which is why Gen.G want to break, maybe opt for that kind of strat.
For the setup coming in, Kenny Parker with the team up ability, but you can't really zone away a corridor if you just get absolutely dinked down by Brownie. And look at this, Jmac taking down Felix into the pits with them, but Felix does come back thanks to the BRB, whereas NX and Vital just clicking away, wiping out the Gen.G roster as Arakko moves on forward.
Yeah, Monzter's not on the Venom just yet, right? On the Thing to provide a bit of a holding force, perhaps against Jmac, but Jmac was just pristine with it, finding the right picks onto Hoodie. No more Karmic Revival that could have been on in 17%, in 70% basically, but without that, it's gonna be a bit of a dent in Gen.G. They're gonna find themselves having to teleport back in. Brownie's finding a bit of rhythm in the sky. Felix will have the Rage of Ultron. And with that, I don't know if that's too little too late right now with Snake and Felix being taken out of action so quickly.
Yep, 2 gone already. Here comes the Karmic Revival. It comes down in time, but it's only going to respawn Felix as the rest of the Crazy Raccoons just running rampant yet again. We've seen this before and we see it again. Crazy Raccoon looking to close in on this first point. No portal available.
I don't know if this triple's working for Gen.G, right? You know, this kind of composition really lends for them to have to play together with so many high grounds, teleports around Arakko. It just means that NX can get behind them and do exactly what you see right there. They fight back though with the BRB. It evens things out and provides a bit more fire, especially with the Cosmic Yarn coming online for Snake, allowing the rest of Gen.G to hop onto this objective here.
But look at this though, it's already a 1 to Crazy Raccoon's name. They already secured the site.
Right.
Are you investing a little too much right now on the side of Gen.G? Are you investing way too much that where it's all for naught as Gen.G? I don't know if they realize that they got the first point already and they're looking to just reset a little bit back away as Snake gets stunned up thanks to the Wolverine. And now False needs to make his way back on the side. Look at Lastro just clicking away here. Able to find 1, find 2, and that's gonna mean Arakko. This Brute that looks like the point will move on forward, but Brownie has something to say about it as Gen.G look to claw their way back in.
Yeah, painful for Gen.G, right? Like you called it, using your ultimates even after that point has been claimed, and then losing bodies as you try to retreat away from that choke point. It's a bit of a stagger here, but at least, you know, they've moved away from the triple onto the 2-2 to take this high ground. Felix with the Rage of Ultron. JT3 looking for a Meteor Dunk now. High in the sky to evade that. Will be a combo wombo to say the least. No one's found though. There's so much sustain coming up from Crazy Raccoons. They'll just have to back away, and they have a lot of checks they can cash in coming into this next team fight.
Yeah, a huge uphill battle, quite literally for Crazy Raccoon, trying to find a way back into this fight. Monzter comes back thanks to the BRB. Hoodie goes down, but does have the cocoon and can pop the Karmic Revival at any given moment. But Jmac trying to track him down, but NX with a quick flick onto Brownie, then comes down from the heavens as he tries to do extra damage. But here comes that Adam Warlock of Hoodie, bringing back everyone as Brownie does come back thanks to the Karmic Revival.
It's an uphill battle. You can see NX doing their best to maintain the high ground advantage with a bit of a leap onto the left side perch. But, you know, with Felix having aerial superiority right now, it's a bit hard for Crazy Raccoon to make their way back up. They've got some defensive ult. I'm looking at SeungHoon to maybe push it with the Fate of Both Worlds. It just comes out right now. Hoodie now on a bit of the flank. The right click finding Lastro when it really matters. And the board again comes through. Vital brings back everybody that dropped.
And it looks like they might just drop again. False finding 1. Vital comes back thanks to the cocoon. as Jmac jumps up to try to buy a bit of time. A great bubble onto Monzter to deny Jmac from shredding him down. As Gen.G finally starting to show signs of life here, but they do need to keep this going. They've got a lot more of time to kill. They've got 2 minutes to try to deny a second point for Crazy Raccoon.
Vital is absolutely fragging out right now with those right clicks. Meteor M looking for a pick, but hey, the denied by the Soul Resurgence is Lastro. So beautifully timed from them is now NX on a bit of a hunt. We'll find out counterpart looking for these sparks to fly onto this. Oh, as fast as it came, the COIA disappeared. Outrage of Ultron online, dancing on the pillar. NX hunting for the mark, takes to the skies. It just quite can't find it though.
Yeah, being a slippery target himself, but at Felix also being a slippery on top of that, as here comes NX with the Song Inferno doing a decent chunk of damage, but is it going to be enough to allow Crazy Raccoon to cross the line? The answer might be a resounding yes, as they find one, make that 2 down now as Monzter comes back next to the BRB, but NX finally coming back here, but Hoodie with the Karmic Revival provides so much value, but is there enough of a response from Gen.G? There are no strategist ultimates available apart from that revival, as Gen.G might just get dropped down yet again, but Brownie with the quick double comes down with the Song Inferno for himself, as the rest of Gen.G look to hold yet again from what seemed like an absolute miracle.
A beautiful Karmic Revival from Hoodie, right? Bringing back, what, 4 team members back into the fray immediately. And Brownie using that momentum to find some quick CQB on these players. Now on a bit of a hunt. They're looking for Hoodie. Trying to escape with their life. Oh, but we'll get the Uno reversal card onto Lastro. Don't expect JT3. They'll route right around the back. And then, once again, in the midst of all that chaos, Crazy Raccoons continue to push this objective along.
I didn't even realize throughout all that, Crazy Raccoon were able to secure the second point. I thought they were held off yet again, but Gen.G allowed Crazy Raccoon to slip on by. And now they look to take control of this downward tunnel as Hoodie finds one, but surely will get traded in the end. But Vital pops that cocoon. Hoodie doesn't have his, so it's a bit of a regroup coming in from Gen.G, who do have a lot of ultimates, but Crazy Raccoon, they've got a lot in their arsenal as well.
They do indeed. Lots of checkpoints across the board. This high ground advantage is so crucial for NX as they hunt for their counterpart. Now extermination indeed, forcing out the Song Inferno. Doesn't quite find the mark on enough. You know what time it is. These hands are E for everybody, but we're clapping back, says SeungHoon, finding the shift click onto multiple members. Now high in the sky falls. And a false force back the likes of Crazy Raccoons. The Fate of Both Worlds keeps everyone alive as well. So that's just a stalemate through and through.
Yeah, once the Fate of Both Worlds expires, there's no strategist ultimates available. Hoodie finds the mark onto Lastro. This Adam Warlock has been an absolute pain here. Here comes Jmac getting a stun onto Felix, is able to pin him down onto the pillar. As Crazy Raccoon with a 1-man advantage, yeah, as the overtime meter comes into fruition.
In fruition indeed. Jmac doing their best to hold around these corners, looking for this Karmic Revival that they cannot let pop off. Hoodie comes back with that vengeance, but all eyes on him. Great bubble to keep Hoodie alive. The momentum's right there, but they have to stop the objective. Eyes on, Gen.G, eyes on.
Yeah, Gen.G really need to lock it in here, but they do have the advantage with the Rage of Ultron and the Fate of Both Worlds. Where is the response from Crazy Raccoon? It's going to be the Karmic Revival and the Song Inferno, but Brownie and Felix are going to open things up. But keep in mind, everyone on Crazy Raccoon having a second life, a second chance at this fight. But in the end, it's gonna be a defense successful for Gen.G, and they will deny Crazy Raccoon of that third point.
It's funny because Hoodie had the Karmic Revival
bubble, and that's just the great peel coming in from the side of Gen.
Underestimated there as now the sides are swapped. Gen.G, I mean, yes, they were able to deny that third point, but we saw a couple of mistakes at checkpoints 1 and 2 with a little bit of overcommitting of ultimates, a little bit of distraction around those objectives and letting Crazy Raccoons really take momentum for themselves. So they'll have to bring the heat with their 2-2-2 setup. Is that? No, I'm looking at that wrong. 2-1-3 setup And JT3, I called it on the Angela, right? Like, we've seen them do a fair bit, and I'm excited to see what they're able to bring up for this Asgardian flyer.
Here we go. Gen.G now on the offensive. They took a lot of damage in the beginning, but it's all for Arakko to push on forward as Hoodie, landing the right clicks, landing down the herd. Brownie's trying to spin, but he will find a win with a frag onto Jmac, who does need to run his way back from spawn, but Jmac does have the BRB. NX will find things with an equalizing trade. 1-for-1 overall so far as Gen.G look to push on forward. Crazy Raccoon also trying to stack up the ultimates to try to defend for as long as possible. And here's the tipping point here with the CYA.
Quickly as it came, CYA out of action right now. You know, it's just a bit of masses here at this top pipe section. They need the high ground. Now in this cluster, it's going to be the Rage of Ultron, opening things up deep into the back line. Feast of the Abyss finds Vital. Huge one for Monzter, finally getting some rhythm under them. False, another one as well. But hey, it's going to be the Cocoon coming up from Vital, right?
Still a man advantage though in favor of Gen.G as Snake decides to extend that a little bit further. And now with only 4 members on the site for Crazy Raccoon, it looks like everyone trying to run for the hills, especially when the Galactic Legend was popped. And yeah, a great push coming in from Gen.G. Crazy Raccoon look to fight back immediately with this JT3 portal.
Yeah, Monzter, Hoodie absolutely finding their rhythm here in their attacking half. Right off the rip, JT3 now hopping onto the Captain America. Look behind you, NX. Hoodie's just round the corner. SeungHoon's popped the fate of both worlds, trying to sustain the rest of these 5 players to stall out the Gen.G around this objective.
But the response from Felix with their own fate of both worlds as Brownie trying to dance his way to a opening elimination, but it looks like Jmac will find a Hoodie, but Vital comes back, or brings back SeungHoon, as the rest of Crazy Raccoons dumping everything into the kitchen sink. Felix is the only man caught by the eye of Akamoto, but it's going to be worthwhile as Crazy Raccoon looking to fight back here, and the advantage heavily in favor of the Raccoons as Gen.G look to run for the hills, and they weren't able to secure that first point. Crazy Raccoon were able to defend in the nick of time.
Not yet, but they have 4 ultimates online, and Crazy Raccoon's a little away from perhaps the Galactic Legend. So if they push the pedal to the metal right now, Gen.G will most likely will have the firepower advantage. JT3 trying to make it a bit more expensive with some regroups from Monzter onto the back line. You've got the fist, you've got Vital out of the way. That's a big one with Lastro taken out as well. Your strategists are coming out of line. There is one that comes back, but SeungHoon is quickly taking out Vital once again, back to back. There's no more strategists involved. You don't even need these check marks to push your ultimates along. You just got the point for yourself.
They didn't even rely on ultimates at all. They only invested in Monzter's Feast of the Abyss, and now look at the benefit that Gen.G come out with. So much momentum, so many ultimates still held on, and they were able to break through the defense of Crazy Raccoon, who are still struggling to get key ultimates online.
Yeah, you know, Crazy Raccoon's opting to run basically double shields up front, which means that their backline can be very quickly harassed by the likes of Hoodie and Brownie, with some plays around here waiting
Legendary.
for Galactic Legends, looking for a bit of play. It has to work around this tiny hole, but NX counting with a counter of their own. Ooh, I don't know if that Meteor M, did that come out? I think it just barely hit anything.
Yeah, might have not held any value. Might have been a defensive one if you think about it. As Jmac looking to find a way in, but Felix looks to try to keep the dance going. Gen.G look to get the push going, but here comes the Eye of Agamotto. Doesn't find anyone. I think it was blocked maybe by something. It might have been, yeah, for timing being a little bit off as Brownie does snipe away JT3. Karmic Revival does come in. Brownie not quite landing the burst damage in time as Crazy Raccoon again having a second chance at this fight.
I mean, NX has Brownie's number, right, to defend that Karmic Revival. Or at least Hoodie coming back into it. It's going to be the spin to win from NX just to be able to make it happen. But eventually Hoodie does pop their Karmic Revival, just trying to bring back Brownie into the fray here as the only one they really need. As Snake does pop the Rage of Ultron. A lot of fights happening on this right side, and Vital will be out of the count. Hoodie is doing absolute numbers, hunting for NX, who has to dive out of there, forcing even Jmac into their defensive spawn. Looks like they're chugging this objective along.
Ooh, can they step foot onto the site though? That is the big question. It looks like they're able to. So they do deny Gen.G of a second point for the time being. NX popping the Galactic Legend, but Hoodie with the flank plays, with the right clicks, just absolutely tearing the Raccoons apart. And it looks like Gen.G will finally be able to secure that second point. Can they push on further? Can they force a map win for themselves on their own map pick? We have yet to find out as we look on further.
Lastro doing their best to hold off on this high ground, right? It's so important as JT3 tries to take the tank of it. Great sleep onto Monzter, but the bubble gives them a bit more survivability while the rest of Crazy Raccoon storm this high ground. This is something that they were able to claim themselves pretty quickly on the first half, but Gen.G not able to take the high ground as quickly right now, making it more expensive for them to push along this objective.
Everyone on Crazy Raccoon staying on the high ground, but two members getting caught up by the clobber in time of Monzter. But in the end, it is vital, giving the Raccoons a man advantage. False getting dangerously low, is able to get supported back up. But can the rest of Crazy Raccoon find the defense? They have 90 seconds worth of time to defend from Hoodie getting taken out, but does have the cocoon for himself as Snake trying to tip the scales here with the Meteor. Not quite landing the mark. JT3 not having the burst damage in time as Lastro flicks away Hoodie, takes away what is left of that Adam Warlock, but Snake and Brownie teaming up to find two. Monzter haymakers into a third as the Crazy Raccoons look for a second chance thanks to Vital, but is it going to be enough? NX gets taken out, but will also get revived as well. Crazy Raccoon not done just yet.
The insurance policy from Vital kicks in hard and brings back nearly the entire squad, negating so much progress that Gen.G were able to bring, right? Brownie had a brilliant Galactic Legends just outside that Soul Resurgence. Now we go again. It's going to be the fate of both worlds. Trying to counter things, but Lastro, even deep within the dance floor, is brought out by Brownie. Meteor M looking for a bit of a hunt in this close quarters to spin to win. Not enough as they fall back into the safety of the strategists. Finding the stuns, finding the hits is NX and Jmac.
Oh my god, Jmac with a triple, man. Eye of Agamotto, and they all go down. Snake with the Rage of Ultron was a little too late to save what is left of Gen.G and Crazy Raccoon. Is that enough? Is that going to be the defense being held for Crazy Raccoon? Gen.G, if they lose one more fight, it will be all over, and it's going to be Crazy Raccoon going to match point. Gen.G, can they do it?
Can they do it indeed? I'm looking at Hoodie, who has the Karmic Revival coming in, a spin to win, had Galactic Legends, gonna pop it up pretty quickly. As right now Crazy Raccoons trying to overstep their boundaries. False holds down the fort right now. It's gonna be Lastro with the Soul Resurgence as a bit of a response after losing NX.
Yeah, Vital trying to bring NX back to the fight as soon as possible. Keep in mind, overtime makes your respawn timer twice as long as NX comes back, revitalized thanks to Vital. Vitalizes NX, brings down one with the Endsong Inferno, but Hoodie comes back with the Karmic Revival, brings everyone back, but it's not enough. Crazy Raccoon were able to force Gen.G away, and now this is a terrible spot for Gen.G as they are down 0-2.
It is a terrible spot for Gen.G. I mean, yeah, we called out that Karmic Revival from Hoodie during that at the start of the last team fight, but unfortunately, you can't wait till the very end. You have to have bodies on the objective to stall out and hold that overtime meter alive. That was not the case. Crazy Raccoons come back with a defensive hold to deny the push from Gen.G.
Oh my goodness, what a play coming in from the Crazy Raccoon. They were able to burst. Becomes an annoyance yet again. The amount of flanks that I saw Hoodie make with the Adam Warlock, charging up the right click, coming out from an off stage of Marvel Rivals. As Gen.G though, they have to find a way to come back here. They're down 2 maps. One more map loss and they are done. They are out of this tournament and they are out of their chance of moving into Atlanta.
But this might be it, okay? You just look at... Okay, I know chat... Oh, chat can see it. Folks, just take a look, right? Monzter on the Venom. Hoodie on the Jeff and Brownie here on the Star-Lord. This is the dynamic trio. This is the triple dive that Gen.G are so good at. They bested Reject yesterday on Domination with this particular lineup. And so if there's any time to bring the heat, it is precisely now as Jmac looks to maybe take some level of back entrance. You see Hoodie trying to stun off the Doctor Strange, but in we go. High ground advantage to Crazy Raccoon, and even taking the lower stages. Oh, look how the tides have turned. Crazy Raccoon's looking to defend this point now.
Yep, high ground, low ground, you name it. That's all that Crazy Raccoon want to control. As they look to step foot onto the site. Didn't quite make it to the 1/3 mark just yet. But right now, Crazy Raccoon bringing the fight to Gen.G with a standard portal coming in from Jmac. As everyone just scrapping away, trying to find the ultimates to get going as soon as possible. Lots of health bars, but with no ultimates available, no team has to worry about it, but Monzter might be the one to tip the scales as he gets taken out. Keep in mind, there is no BRB actually available on the side of Snake as 2 go down. Monzter forced to use the Doctor Strange to try to rejoin the team, but Brownie comes in, spins his way to a double. But can they find more? NX trying to do what he can to try to find a pick, but the Soulbound is going to do so much work here. Lastro steals away. Look at the amount of wires from the CYA, but Brownie is able to find that Galactic Legend in the nick of time, even denying the BRB.
Brownie is doing everything right after that dynamic trio fell down to the likes of this Star-Lord. It's everything, and they're finding picks after picks. False is right up with their Monzter. Had even time to come back from the spawn and support onto JT3. It was on the backs and shoulders and legs of Brownie doing everything for Gen.G right there.
Great heads up play, even denying that BRB like we said. But Gen.G though, they have a lot of ultimates to work with here. Quick little checkup. Monzter at 90%. Hoodie and False have theirs as well. Brownie speeding his way in, doing a lot of AoE damage, but the lamps from Lastro are going to just absolutely nullify it. Brownie goes back and resets.
I love the teleport, right? Supported by Snake now. Felix with the rage, just trying to do something, but hey, NX will snipe them off. Great meteor coming in through from the side of JT3, but Brownie is brought back by the BRB now. False has a meteor M of their own. The reposition from NX onto Brownie, gets a few sparks. Now hunting for it, takes to the sides with the end song.
Yeah, takes to the skies and brings them down as Jmac with the Maelstrom of Madness will find one. Shotguns down his fellow doppelganger as NX with the animation cancels will find another frag. JT3 will top things off as Crazy Raccoon secure that first point, and Gen.G look to reset and run for the hills.
I feel like I maybe caster cursed their triple dive strat, right?
Oh,
then
wait.
I felt like Monzter and Hoodie would just shut out from being able to make their simultaneous plays onto the back line. And it really goes to show that Crazy Raccoons really understands what Gen.G tries to do with their compositions while looking at the right spots at the right time.
Hoodie's on the wrong side of the map. I'm not entirely sure.
Hoodie's always
We'll
on
see
the
if
wrong side of the map.
He's always on the wrong side, but he's not on the... Oh, okay. Goodbye. Goodbye, Hoodie. Vital just puts him out of his misery. Doesn't have to worry about resetting with the team, rejoining the team as the Raccoons look to run rampant over through, take their way through the S-turn, but look at the Galactic Legend coming in from Brownie, screens, shields, you name it, coming out of JT3 to try to provide as much utility as possible. NX crashing down, crashes out Brownie, Felix falling as well. NX just putting on an absolute show with double, making a triple as Monzter needs to Tarzan swing his way out, but he gets stuck.
Oh, I mean, Gen.G did their best to make a bit of a Gen.G sandwich, right? Pinching them from both sides with Brownie and Hoodie maybe taking a bit of a flank angle, but with Hoodie out of the way, it's just a lot less pressure from the backside, even with Brownie in the Galactic Legends form, because NX has eyes at the back of their head. Now closing in to the second point here. Brownie's trying to get this Phoenix out of the way, but not quite yet, so on the hunt we go.
As everyone is just scrapping away. Jmac with the Eye of Agamotto will find 2, and the 2 that got stunned will go down. No BRB, no Karmic Revival, no way out. for GEN.G to regroup as they have to run back and reset. A tough pill to swallow as Crazy Raccoon look to push on forward through this tunnel.
You gotta change things up, GEN.G. I feel like Hoodie in that backline is not providing enough distraction as what you possibly might think, especially because Monzter and Brownie up front and leaving Jeff alone in the backline with, you know, having SeungHoon just occasionally throw Mantis picks onto them is good enough to hold them back. Now into the fray we go. Brownie has the distraction tactics, but now, okay, False popping the Meteor and will dodge the Soul Resurgence, but doesn't quite find the value. Now, JT3 looking to take out Snake. No more dance floor for you.
The wombo combo with the End Song Inferno from NX was all it took to shut down another dance floor from GEN.G. We've seen it already like 3 separate times in this entire series, and here it is no different. And here comes that resurrection to just keep the Raccoons together without stagger, without falter, as GEN.G struggling to defend what is left of Crazy Raccoon. Lastro steals away the Soul Resurgence from his fellow teammate as NX speeds on forward. Melee's on forward, animation cancel, throwing everything into the kitchen sink. But Brownie trying to find a way back into this fight. Has the Galactic Legend, great stun coming in from Jmac to shut down the Venom of GEN.G. As Crazy Raccoon, they complete the triple here as GEN.G. They've got one hell of a run to do if they want to stay alive.
1, 2, GEN.G. That is multiple times right now from GEN.G that they have lost track of with 3 people standing. Eyes on the objective.
Crucial errors coming in from GEN.G, but great plays coming in from the Raccoons. We talked about it throughout this entire match, the way that they're able to coordinate their ultimates and just shut down key ultimates that GEN.G had to rely on if they wanted to stay alive. Snake most notably popping that Fate of Both Worlds, but it was immediately shut down by JT3 and NX using their ultimates in tandem to get the burst damage down. And here in Marvel Rivals, we all know that burst damage is king.
Burst damage is indeed king. GEN.G's same composition, moving into the attacking half, speeding along, playing the hive mind that they're usually so comfortable with. We'll see if right now they are mentally strong. A lot of scouting, a lot of recon coming up from Brownie, just peering over the shoulders of the Star-Lord. The jump peak supported by Hoodie. This is where the dynamic trio can really come to life, right? Now leaving Monzter and Brownie to, and Hoodie to do what they do best. Brownie just harassing the backline as much as possible, trying to look for some early picks. Well, the likes of False take to the second floor. Brownie's now in the middle of the hunt. Great dive from Monzter. Can they capitalize upon it though?
Oh, the lamps provided enough utility to keep everyone from Crazy Raccoon from getting taken out, blended away by Brownie with the spin to win. And it looks like Crazy Raccoon putting up a fight here as GEN.G, if you do remember, they didn't opt to run the Doctor Strange early to get that high ground, low ground advantage that Crazy Raccoon were able to do successfully. And now look at Crazy Raccoon now pinned into a corner. If a key ultimate comes in from GEN.G, this might be catastrophic.
Oh, the Arakko denied by Felix. Hoodie finds another as well. GEN.G starting to open up the cracks, but Crazy Vital coming back with the cocoon to even things out. The huge swallow onto the likes of can't find it anymore though. It's Shark Weak denied by NX. Now Feast of the Abyss doesn't quite find the mark though.
Brownie was able to shut down NX, just try to keep that trade in favor of GEN.G as Monzter fights his way back into the fray as the portal finally being invested by Crazy Raccoon to try to just regroup, recuperate, and try to find a way back in, but GEN.G are just zoning them away. Here comes the push though from Crazy Raccoon.
Coming around the other side, basically want to fortify themselves in the back line. A lot of panicking happening. SeungHoon will pop the Soul Resurgence to erupt out of the corner into the main area. Falls using that to trigger, looking for the Mantis, and will fight it head on. Brownie coming, hunting for the Karmic Revival. Will deal with a Vital, but I think that Karmic Revival still goes through. Lastro being taken care of. And look at all these strategies on the back line. It's the triple dive come from GEN.G coming into fruition.
Yeah, great heads-up play from Brownie to shut down Vital's ultimate. It did go through, like you said, but without the utility coming in from Adam Warlock, without the Soulbound, with that damage reduction, without any of the burst healing from Vital, Gen.G were able to capitalize, take out the Adam Warlock, and just allow themselves to get control of that first site. But Crazy Raccoon, we talked about it time and time again, the momentum is heavily in their favor, and look at this rotation play coming in.
Crazy play immediately. Look at this, like 5-6 members all together. Crazy Raccoons playing as a herd, as a team, and find Snake with beautiful sparks flying across the foreheads of Brownie. NX cannot miss. We're just in the universe of NX, but hey, Hoodie takes that away, takes that false advertising for themselves.
Great trades coming in overall though, but Gen.G still on the offensive as Brownie and the rest of the crew come in. Here comes the Aya Agamotto. Only stuns onto one. Hoodie was able to dodge it away with the It's Jeff ultimate. Snake with the Cosmic Yarn will sustain everyone of Gen.G as SeungHoon trying to find a way back in, but it's actually Lastro with Soul Resurgence stolen away from SeungHoon, who is actually on the Mantis this time around as Hoodie finds a pick onto Vital, and Brownie coming in to do the same as he lasers down the fellow Mantis, the fellow Guardian of the Galaxy, as Felix takes to the skies, and Crazy Raccoon are looking staggered yet again.
Yeah, without that backline support, being harassed by the likes of Brownie and Hoodie is just, you know, too much to bear. You can't be left standing here on the objective. This is the coordination we're talking about, right? Hoodie attacking from that top vertical angle, Brownie swooping around from the right side, and really to set up for these additional crossfires, right? Waiting for the contact to come out, looking for some individual picks as they sneak around the back. No one's got eyes on Brownie just yet. That does have the Galactic Legends, but now they absolutely nail it. NX just need 2 shots to send Brownie back into the server.
Oh my gosh, back to the sidelines is Brownie going as NX popping that Ensom Inferno to try to provide a little bit of extra utility coming in for Crazy Raccoon, but here comes the feast from Monzter, trying to find some sort of opportunity. Here comes the Galactic Legend from Brownie. It's going to be absolutely legendary. We'll find one, but with the help of False here, as Gen.G look to make the plays, make the action happen, but Vital brings everyone back. Everyone must stand. All rise, but they will not be able to rise to the occasion.
They will indeed. You know, it's Meteor M as well. Okay, we've got the is Loki copying the Soul Resurgence to keep Crazy Raccoons on a bit of a defensive structure, but now False looking to take out SeungHoon. Has been such a pain. Beautiful sleep. Sedated out of action. The Yum Yum comes out. How many will they get?
Oh my God.
It's multiple members. The bubble comes true. This allows Jeff to wriggle themselves away, and Hoodie is bringing away members now in the heat of the moment. Lastro will find their demise. In me go Monzter, looking for more, taking out JT3. Vital out of action. Gen.G continue their rampage.
The America's frontline doing what they do best, just pushing through as Hoodie finally does spit out what is left of Crazy Raccoon, and they're just going to finish him off quick and easy as you like it. They will be able to secure that second point.
Nice and easy. I feel like we've been talking non-stop for the past X number of minutes, Dan, because it's back-to-back action. Look at the way Gen.G have already pressed past this, you know, high zone. This is precisely the strat that Crazy Raccoons use on them that previous map, so they want to get ahead of the action. They don't want their flyers to be nerfed by the tunnel action. They want Crazy Raccoons to stay at the base of this hill.
That's exactly what they're going to try to do. Keep in mind, Gen.G need to get to a third point in order to force overtime, as NX will open things up with a pick onto False. As Crazy Raccoon with that man advantage look to find an opportunity here, as Brownie with the Galactic Legend trying to dance his way to a fight win. But look at the reaction coming in from Crazy Raccoon. Wow. They're just going to walk away from Brownie, and that's going to be the key moment here as SeungHoon lasers down Felix, and Vital and the rest of the crew with the Soulbound with the utility coming in as Jmac with a double stun, but False can't find the meteor. Tried to wrap it around the screen coming in from JT3, but it's not gonna matter. Monzter gets taken out, and Crazy Raccoon, they're looking good. 40 seconds left is all it takes from a map win and a ticket to Atlanta.
this is the worst place for the objective to be for Gen.G, right? They've got dive people that can't make their mark onto people cowering under this tunnel, right? Monzter can't dive in. You have the likes of Felix and Brownie high in the sky. They're not able to get any value, and it's just them cowering using the natural ability of this place to hold down the fort. NX once again finding false, overextending back into the fray.
This is going to be the difference here as Crazy Raccoon look to hold on the side. Gen.G, a desperation effort. An NX looks to shut down the Jeff, and Brownie will follow suit. Gen.G, they have nothing. They don't have any way back. No portal, no hope, no chance back. Gen.G, the golden standard, will fall to the hands of the Crazy Raccoons and will punch their tickets to Atlanta.
In 3-0, clean sweep, no reactions. Crazy Raccoons are absolutely eating good right now for themselves. Gen.G unfortunately had 0 answers, and we talked about that micro play right at the end, right? Gen.G had to push the objective past the tunnel, but Crazy Raccoons read what their win condition was. They pushed themselves in, they bunkered down with shields above their heads, denying at least 3 members the ability to shoot.